Hey, how's it going? You're right, it hasn't been very long since we first covered Pokemon Unite on this channel. But since the last video, a lot has happened for the game and its competitive scene. From Twitch Rivals appearances, to receiving an official spot in the Pokemon World Championship Series, Pokemon Unite has shown that it's an esports ready game that still has a lot of room to grow. So how did the game's competitive scene develop so much in the initial months of the game's release? Well, let's find out. Hey, before we start today's video, if you like our content and want to see more stuff like Pokemon Unite, we'd really appreciate if you subscribed and hit the bell to stay up to date. It helps us out, plus you get to see all the cool stuff we're working on. Alright, let's get back to the video. To recap, for people who might have missed the first video, Pokemon Unite is a MOBA developed by TIMI Studio Group for the Nintendo Switch and all mobile devices. The game originally released on July 21st, 2021, and on mobile devices on September 22nd. Basically, matches consist of two teams of 5 players competing against each other in 10-minute long matches as they try to earn points by defeating the wild Pokemon around the map and scoring them into one of the enemy's control points. Overall, the game is short, but is fast-paced and pretty fun.
Yeah, so I think if you come in with a neutral palette with no expectations, I think Pokemon Unite is amazing. 10-minute games are incredibly digestible. The action happens a lot. There's not like super long farming phases or anything like that. The complexity of what happens is, hey, there's objectives that populate X amount of time. It kind of naturally leads you through the game. So from a fresh to MOBAs, no previous experience viewer, I think Pokemon Unite is incredibly digestible. It's a lot of fun and the action is kind of rip-roaring. Of course, because it's a 10-minute game, you do have some blowouts where it's like, okay, but at least you're not on the hook for more than 10 minutes when that's happening.
Before the end of 2021, it was announced that the game had already been downloaded over 50 million times. And it was clear that the game wasn't going to slow down anytime soon. A lot of the game's popularity is thanks in part to the strong Pokemon IP, and that the Pokemon community supports pretty much everything that gets released. Streaming the game, showing it off on YouTube, and writing all sorts of fan fiction means that Pokemon basically gets free press anytime they release a title.
Pokemon Unite was truly something unique for the Pokemon community to watch, something new. I think that we benefited a lot from the viewership and also the kindness of the Pokemon community. Everyone involved with the TCG and VGC that I've personally interacted with has been extremely welcoming and extremely kind. Especially, you'd even maybe shocked to learn that the bigger the people were, kind of the nicer they were. Like, we had a lot of support from Wolfie, we had support from Pokeaim, we had support for, I mean, it just, like, I know all the TCG players are playing, like Azul's group. I know, I talk to Raul all the time, pretty much all these competitive Pokemon people, but nobody really tried to do harm, and for a lot of people, they tried to help. That was just a massive benefit, the welcoming community. Along
with the support of the Pokemon community itself, Pokemon Unite was able to attract players from other MOBAs, much like Valorant did with FPS gamers. One community that saw quite a bit of its former player base move over to Pokemon Unite was Blizzard's Heroes of the Storm. Considering that it had been nearly 3 years since the port for the game ended, it's easy to see why so many transitioned to Pokemon Unite. As a result, a grassroots competitive scene quickly formed and has been growing ever since.
Well, the grassroots scene for Pokemon Unite was something unlike anything I've seen for the games I've played recently. Like, we had $500 tournaments, $1,000 tournaments every weekend, sometimes more than one. So, like, we also had Shiny League, which A-Drive put on. It was really nice of him to kind of support the game in that way until we got the official announcement. We had like this small circuit style tournament that led into a $10,000 finals. That was a lot of fun.
With the immense success of the game's grassroots scene, and events like Twitch Rivals bringing more eyes to the title as the months have gone on, the desire for an official Pokemon Unite competitive scene was palpable, and many in the community were expecting something from the Pokemon company themselves.
I kind of, in the back of my mind, I think I always believed that would happen, but I think we both know how strong the intellectual property of Pokemon is. So from a casting point of view, I definitely saw it as worst case scenario, there's going to at least be a robust competitive scene on the grassroots level, and that was enough for me to kind of throw myself 100% into it. Of course, with the announcement of it being included in Worlds and then this championship series, subsequently announced, of course, the volume has been turned up to 11 and everybody has kind of started to focus there, and it's growing week by week and month by month, and you see that in the number number of teams that sign up for those qualifiers that happen in the middle of the month. But the competitive scene itself is getting slowly and slowly more robust as we see more teams signing up.
Actually, we were getting a little bit worried about how long it took. We don't think it didn't feel early for us. Probably because when you're playing the game every day and checking for news, it becomes like this exhausting, like kind of long process where, you know, if you're watching from the outside, it can feel quick. But from the inside, I promise it didn't feel quick. It felt nerve-wracking.
For the first year of Pokemon Unite's inclusion in the Pokemon World Championship Series, the Pokemon Company went all in with a prize pool of $1 million, half of which was up for grabs at the World Championship itself, and the other half being invested in monthly regional tournaments. The massive support for the scene meant that many players started investing lots of time into qualifying for the World Championship. For example, Sota Okada, better known as Zachary, is one of the best Smash Ultimate players in Japan, and he announced that he was going to take a break from competing in Smash to focus on qualifying for the Pokemon World Championship. Clearly, money talks.
Thank you.
Along with the financial investment into the prize pool, the Pokemon Company wanted to make sure the entire tournament circuit was done correctly, and entrusted a third-party company to help run the events.
I think it was incredibly humble of them and wise to go with Esports Engine rather than kind of doing it in-house. And I mean, I appreciate that decision retroactively. Like, we're benefiting so much from having professional tournament admin that's worked in esports before. So the guys at Esports Engine have been like really receptive to our feedback.
With all the support from the Pokemon Company and a grassroots scene that continues to thrive, with recent tournaments like the G4 Boosted Invitational, it seems that Pokemon Unite, as an esport, will be here for a while. While some of the initial excitement for the game has died down a bit, those who remained are dedicated to the Pokemon MOBA. Plus, they see a lot of potential for the game to grow and continue to get better.
Unfortunately, the game's not out in China. So there's two ways to look at that. We have a bad thing, you know, we're missing all the Chinese players. And then we have the secondary kind of idea that we have a second wind coming when the game releases in China. There's no doubt that when Tencent is allowed to, they'll release Pokemon Unite in China. Just financially, it's common sense. All the content's already done, right? So why wouldn't you? As soon as they get approval, the game will be out in China. And I'll have a new set of people to play against at Worlds, and it will be fun. So we have that second wind coming in that form.
With such a large and untapped audience, Pokemon Unite's present and future both look pretty bright. While there is some room for improvement, it's unlikely that the game is going to die anytime soon.
I mean, some people are just turned off by Pokemon because of the IP and, you know, they think it's, you know, kiddie stuff or whatever. But the games are incredibly complicated. When you start listening to these teams while they're scrimming on Twitch and broadcasting their scrims and stuff, you can see all the different moving pieces and what they're considering, what they're going in, how they're doing. And you'll find that the complexity is far deeper than maybe what it seems like on the surface. And I think it's again, a good digestible amount of time, a 10-minute game, for people to get some good excitement without having to get too far into the weeds in it. And I think that's one of the strongest things that Pokemon Unite has going for it. So again, obviously, as you know, I'm a believer. I will keep doing so, and hopefully you'll keep hearing me as you're tuning in throughout the months to come.
This video is made possible thanks to our wonderful patrons. Massive thank you to everyone on this list, and shout out to Jason B, Brendan, QB, Foxy, Mauve, Pachanas, Sierra, Shampoo, Spartacus, and Yashichi for being platinum supporters. And an extra special shout out to Steven, Jason G, and Marco for being diamond supporters. Awesome to see you all still with us. If you want to talk to us, check out our Discord, or if you want to support the channel and get info on unreleased videos, check out our Patreon. If you want to help us out in a different way, leaving a like, subscribing, and hitting the bell to stay up to date is also appreciated. My name is Jonah. Thanks for watching.